Meghan Markle thought she was whipping up a triumphant return, but what emerged was less gourmet dessert and more charred toast disaster. Her Netflix series With Love, Meghan promised a cozy, influencer-chic retreat. Yet it spectacularly flopped, harder than anyone predicted. On paper, it had everything: a famous duchess, flawless visuals, lifestyle flair, and a sprinkle of royal intrigue. But 5 days in, the audience ghosted. The stats were merciless. Day 1, it ranked 73 globally. By Day 5, a nosedive to 127, and that's not even the peak of embarrassment. Apart from a fleeting glimpse on Australia's top 10 and a blink-and-do-a-sit appearance in Sri Lanka, the series flopped internationally. No US top 10, no UK chatter, no viral buzz, no heated hate watch, just silence. The verdict: Meghan Markle's second chances had evaporated. Netflix had gambled on fame and scandal to sell the show. Critics expected at least curiosity-driven views, maybe even mockery. Reality check: the world didn't care enough to even tune in for shade. What's worse than being roasted? Being completely invisible. And that's exactly Meghan Markle's fate. One brutal review from The Times likened watching the show to being waterboarded with trifle. And it wasn't only critics throwing shade. Social media exploded with parodies, memes, and spoofs targeting her painfully curated, ultra-polished vibe. From turmeric marshmallows to jam-making and designer aprons, the show started to feel like a self-parody. People weren't laughing with her, they were laughing at her. The most revealing part: some fans went full-on delusional, photoshopping Netflix top 10 charts just to pretend With Love, Meghan was thriving. That wasn't just Sadit, was a neon warning that her fan base was crumbling, clutching at a fantasy that no longer exists. At the heart of it, Meghan Markle, once mysterious, glossy image, has gone completely hollow. People aren't buying it anymore. They see straight through the scripts, the poses, the staged perfection. And when someone drifts that far from reality, audiences check out. Meghan Markle isn't Martha Stewart, and she's certainly no Taylor Swift, an icon who constantly reinvents herself while staying relatable and real. Speaking of Taylor, it's downright hilarious how Team Sussex tried to pin With Love Meghan's flop on Taylor Swift's surprise engagement to Travis Kelce. As if a wedding announcement could magically erase a show's potential. Let's face it, if Swift's engagement derailed your project, it was never solid to begin with. The kicker? Okay. Meghan's team once spun every minor win into headlines, podcast awards, streaming deals, the works. This time, nothing to twist. No PR stunt could hide the empty screens. No headlines, no top 10s, just deafening silence. And in entertainment, silence shouts louder than any critique. The series wasn't just bad dip, was painfully, embarrassingly tone-deaf at a time when audiences crave realness. A show glued together with unrealistic perfection simply fell flat. Viewers weren't inspired, they were annoyed. Working moms especially voiced how out of touch and borderline offensive the portrayal seemed. The takeaway: if this is Meghan Markle's version of relatable, no one's buying it. Netflix isn't running a charity, nor are they in the business of cushioning fragile egos. When they signed Harry and Meghan to that jaw-dropping multi-million-dollar deal, the mandate was simple: deliver results. Instead, the investment has become a masterclass in flopdom. Documentaries tanked. The animated series got canned before it even aired. And now with Love, Meghan quietly joins the cemetery of forgettable content. Hollywood has a saying: you're only as strong as your last hit. Unfortunately for Meghan, she hasn't had one since leaving the palace. Every new project feels less like genuine connection and more like vanity flexing. The numbers don't lie. What was pitched as a lifestyle brand with universal appeal now reads as a self-indulgent hobby nobody asked for. Even Peppa Pig is outperforming her. Literally, the jaw-dropping part. Meghan had every advantage: global fame, a controversial persona, guaranteed to make headlines, and the full backing financial and technical of one of the world's biggest streaming platforms. Yet, she still couldn't get people to watch. That level of flop wasn't an accident, it's systemic. Meghan Markle's team ignored what audiences actually crave, insisting viewers would buy into a perfectly curated image. The reality? People are over the Meghan Markle PR machine. They're done with victim narratives, passive-aggressive interviews, and polished monologues pretending to be real. Audiences don't want to be sold a look. They want honesty, flaws, humor, chaos, and humanity. Instead, they got Meghan making jam in a spotless kitchen, quoting Pinterest affirmations as if they were life lessons. It wasn't inspiring, it was insulting. Lauren Lawn, veteran PR analyst and YouTube commentator, nailed it. You can't PR your way out of this. Numbers don't lie. Views don't lie. No influencer flowers, no curated dinner parties can hide. A simple truth: Meghan isn't connecting. She could have done a show embracing real-life mess, humor, and self-deprecation, but instead delivered a stiff, overly staged version of herself that audiences flat out rejected. And then there's the timing. Team Sussex tried blaming Taylor Swift, claiming her engagement stole the spotlight, but that excuse collapses instantly. Taylor Swift has dominated headlines for over a decade. A surprise album, a cryptic post, and the world reacts. What true influence looks like? Looks like Meghan Markle's show didn't flop because Taylor Swift got engaged, did tanked because nobody cared enough to click play in the first place. The buzz wasn't stolen, it never existed. Meanwhile, Team Sussex is spinning like mad. Leaks, press briefings, social media smoke bombs, all desperate attempts to rewrite reality. But this isn't just a one-off flop. It's a pattern, a long trail of misfires that now defines the H&M brand. From Spotify to Netflix, every major partner has either quietly walked away or cut ties. That's not coincidence, it's fatigue. Ironically, Meghan used to complain the royal family stifled her authenticity. Now free to do whatever she wants, say whatever she wants, she's losing the public faster than ever. Maybe the palace wasn't the problem. Maybe her version of authenticity just doesn't connect. Prince William is watching from afar, and it's safe to say he's unimpressed. While Meghan and Harry stumble through flop after flop, William is playing the long, calculated game. Behind palace doors, tension is rising, not just between William and Harry, but between William and King Charles himself. One thing is crystal clear: William refuses to let Harry waltz back into the fold without paying the price. Betrayal has consequences. What Harry did airing family secrets, exposing royal rifts, and selling drama to the highest bidder can't simply be swept under the rug for appearances. William knows that any meeting, photo op, or handshake with Harry would instantly boost his credibility, undoing years of carefully cultivated public trust in the monarchy. For William, this isn't personal anymore, it's strategic. The crown can't afford another blow. King Charles, meanwhile, is torn. He's the father, the king, and the figurehead of an institution preaching forgiveness. Yet his tendency to appease weather-letting Prince Andrew resurfaced quietly, or even considering a meetup with Harry's testing patience among insiders. William sees it as weakness, believing his father is far too eager to play diplomat, even at the risk of damaging the royal brand. And this isn't just generational, it's deeply emotional. William carries the scars of Diana's death, a chaotic childhood, and the weight of a fractured family. For him, duty isn't a word, it's survival. He's built a stable, grounded life for his own children, the very stability he never had. So, watching Harry turn family drama into a media spectacle doesn't just frustrate William, it insults everything he's worked to create. Palace insiders describe the father-son dynamic as icy, formal, and tense. William and Charles rarely speak 101, and when they do, it's filtered through private secretaries. Take William and Kate's recent Balmoral trip. No personal time with Charles. The king stayed secluded in a separate house, leaving his son and daughter-in-law to navigate the estate solo. That silence says everything. Adding fuel to the fire is the internal debate over modernizing the monarchy. William wants reform, a streamlined, relevant institution reflecting the times. Charles, on the other hand, clings to ceremony, hierarchy, and outdated symbols. Friends say William finds his father's obsession with uniforms and pageantry borderline ridiculous, like a relic from another century. This divide isn't just emotionally, it's philosophical. So, when Harry's team leaks plans of a potential meet with Charles, William sees the trap. A photo of the king and Harry sipping tea would instantly be spun as a royal olive branch, welcoming back the man who publicly accused the family of racism and cruelty. William won't allow it, not without a public apology, not without accountability. What's unfolding isn't a mere family quarrel, it's a full-blown power struggle over legacy, control, and the monarchy's future. At the center, a king craving peace, a son demanding boundaries, and another son cashing in on the family name. For William, the rules are clear. No deals, no PR stunts, no second chances. If Harry wants back, he'll have to earn it. Once, Meghan Markle can't stage manage her redemption, not even with a Netflix budget.